The question says, for the function and point, find the derivative, and then determine an equation of the line tangent to the graph at x is equal to -2 for the given value. And we did that. We did that in class. So if we'll do a few. I'm not going to do all of them, but we'll do a few. So go ahead and write that down. Get your derivative. Find your slope. Then plug your -2 into the original, and you get what, -8. So you know your point. You got a point and a slope. I think we did one of these in class, did we not?
Yeah. Something similar.
I'll write it on the board for those that, can't see and are sitting at the back of the room. This is the one that I told you most of you could do, but you just don't know the way it's written. F of x is equal to x cubed, and x is equal to -2. So what is f prime of x? F prime of x is equal to 3x what? Squared. So now that we've got the function, let's find our point. Our point is -2, comma, plug the -2 in x cubed, you get what? -8. And your slope at that point is what? What's -2 squared?
4.
And what's 4 times 3?
12.
Now you've got a point and a slope. You use the point and slope equation. And what's y minus the -8? Y is equal to 12x. Well, 12 times 12 is 24, but what's 24 minus 8? Dang old 16?
What?
12 times 12 is 144, sorry. I don't need y'all to say what. I need y'all to say that I've made a mistake.
So that's 136.
Wait, it shouldn't be 12, it should be 2.
Oh,
It should be 16.
Oh, that's nice. I like how I made a 2 into a 12. Sorry. There. I just made a 2 into a 12. Wish I could do that with my bank account. All right. So 12 times 2 is 20. I said 24, didn't I? I don't know where that 12 came from. I'm sorry. 12 times 2 is 24, and what's 24 minus 8? So it was right. 16, right?
No.
Excuse me for that little bit of, what do you call it, Tourette syndrome? Maybe I have a little bit of Tourette syndrome and make a 2 into a 12. I don't know where that came from. What? It's drugs. That's probably what it is. I'm on drugs. So that's going to be 3x squared, 3x, shift up, square. And then this is going to be y is equal to 12x plus 16. 12x plus 16. And that should be correct. And we feel, oops. Okay, somebody check. Did I make a mistake somewhere? I don't know what they want.
Oh, did they turn that into?
Did I make a mistake somewhere?
Yeah, you didn't put what f of a actually was. Like, you didn't make x -2, essentially 12. Like, a should be
12.
Oh, they want 12 right here?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Thank you. So make sure you put the slope there. I thought they were wanting, okay, I'm sorry. I thought that was x, f prime of x. I'm sorry. So we got the answer, we just didn't know where to put it. Next question. Evaluate the derivative of the function given below using the limit definition of the derivative. This is 5.1 and 5.2, or 3.1, whatever chapter we're in, 3.1 and 3.2. You're not doing the derivative because you don't know the derivative. What is the limit definition? What is that called? Starts with a D. I, F.
Difference quotient.
Quotient. So we're going to use the difference quotient here. Now, yes, you could cheat and do the derivative, and I know that. I've got 3 degrees, okay? I know you could cheat, but I'm going to show you how to do it the way you're supposed to do it. So, parentheses squared minus 9 times parentheses minus 5 minus, I'm going to do this in red like I always do, and just plug in, just x squared minus 9x minus 5 all over what? H, limit, as h approaches what? 0. And what goes in these little parentheses?
X times H?
X plus H. Okay, now do it. Of course, now that I've done it, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. That's going to give us x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 9x minus 9h minus 5 minus x squared plus 9x plus 5 all over h. And what happens to our x terms? They should cancel out. That one cancels out with that one, and the 5 cancels there, and the 9x cancels there. Now it should leave you with just h terms. So now we rewrite that, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out a h, and that's going to leave you with 2x plus h minus 9 over h, and those two go out. So we have the limit as h approaches 0 of 2x plus h minus 9, and of course that is going to take that out, and you're left with 2x minus 9. And 2x minus 9. So take the derivative with your power rule just to make sure, and you are correct, 2x minus 9. Now, I could have been a bastard and put the homework question or the test question on there that makes you fill in all the algebraic parts. I could have done that, but I didn't.
That was very kind of you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
I know some of you are going to cheat anyway, so I just figure might as well. Okay, so that's that one, and you feel good about yourself, so you don't have to cause domestic problems because of your low self-esteem. Okay, next.
Oh man, we're getting real today.
Well, that's what causes a lot of domestic problems is
Shelter's
low
good.
self-esteem of the male. What?
I said it's the day before test. Of course we are.
Okay, well, anyway, domestic disputes are usually caused by the low self-esteem of the male. Find the derivative of the following function. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I put that on there. Oh, that's the power rule. Remember I told you I put a couple of power rules on here? That's the power rule. If you get this wrong, you don't what? Tell anybody.
Easy.
God, I'm glad I got it right. Find the derivative of the following function. 12w what? 12w to the third plus 27w squared plus 8.
Yep.
There we go. Find the derivative of y with respect. Find the derivative of y. Find y prime. How do they have to? That pisses me off. I'm going to screw up perfectly good. Try to screw with your brain. Y is equal to 13x squared minus 26x plus 26 times e to the x. All right, go to it. What rule are you going to use?
Chain.
No, not chain rule. It does have parentheses. I realize that.
Product rule.
Product rule, because it is multiplication. Put your little multiplication symbol between those parentheses. This is the product rule. Take your handy dandy red marker. That's the product rule. You got this term and you got this term. You got two terms right here. You're multiplying, so you can do the product rule. First times the derivative of the second, plus the second times the derivative of the first. And if you can't do it, just mark yourself up as what? A failure. What is up with Hollywood? They have put out no movies in the last 2 or 3 months. It's been really sad. I went to the Fire Stick, and there are like 5 new movies on the Fire Stick, and I am not interested in the first one. Must be me.
I'm hoping that means they're going to crank out something really good next year, and they're making us wait for it.
I hope. Annabelle comes out tonight. I'm going to go see Annabelle.
Is your son going to go with you?
Yeah, come on. I don't even know who said that. Oh, they ain't going to say it again. Okay.
They said, is your son going to go with you?
Oh, I thought somebody said they were going to go with me. I didn't know. No, he's not going. He's with his mom, so I guess I'll be batching it. I already threw the invitation out to all my friends, and they said, hell to the no. I mean, good gracious, it's just a movie.
They don't like scary movies?
No, they don't like scary movies.
Mm.
And Annabelle is scary.
Yeah, I don't mess with dolls or clowns.
I don't care nothing about no clown. I love Stephen King, but I don't care nothing about it. Anybody at Pendleton campus, since y'all don't talk, I have to ask y'all directly. Is anybody at the Pendleton campus a scary movie fan?
Nope. I love scary movies.
Miss Castles, did you say that?
Yes, sir.
Halloween was good.
Yeah. I'll probably go
also-
see Annabelle.
They're coming out with a sequel to that one. They say it's going to be out in 2020.
Did you say Annabelle comes out tonight?
Yeah, well, at the Amstar, it says 7 and 9:30. The actual date is 26. What's today? 25th.
25th.
Well, Amstar already has it at 7 and 9:30, so I might go to the 9:30 one. I don't know.
Star and Anderson?
Amstar and Anderson, yeah. So now that you can drink at both of them, I used to go to the Regal ones because you could drink it up to the Regal one, so I used to go to that one. But now you can drink at the Amstar now, so I just go to the Amstar. It's closer to the house. That was supposed to be a joke, but nobody laughs, so I guess it's not a joke. I guess everybody's concentrating or everybody's weaned on a pickle. Which one is it? I did see a movie this weekend. One of my students in my other class told me to watch The Perfection. Have you heard of that one?
I have not.
Well, do not. It's dumber than dog crap. I mean, it's really stupid.
Is that the cello
It's
one?
a horror movie.
Let's say, is that the one about the cellist?
Yeah, the
Yes.
cellist.
It's a scary movie made about two cellists.
Why would
Now
they
think
even?
about that for a minute. I should have not even turned it on when I read the thing about two cellists. I'm like, cellists? Meaning the people that play the cello? How can you make a horror movie about the cello?
There's nothing scarier than two cello players.
I know. Tell me about it. It really sucked.
Why would they even suggest that?
It was a more of a fatal attraction / annihilate the competition. One cut her arm off and the other one sliced her left arm. It was really stupid. It was on Netflix, I think, but it's on Fire Stick also. So don't get it because it's pretty
I'm
stupid.
gonna watch it.
All right.
Did you ever
What?
like those Final Destination movies?
I like those. Those are pretty funny. They're funny. I think they're funny, especially when the rat hits the tire of the car and the tire of the car falls off and the car goes down the hill and that's pretty funny.
If I see a logging truck on the highway, I'll still speed past it.
Yeah, I would say those Final Destination movies are more funny than they are scary. So, all right, y prime is equal to, first, times the derivative of the second, and I'm going to put that in blue, plus e to the x. If you get the derivative of e to the x wrong, don't what? Don't tell anybody. Plus the second times the derivative of the first, and I just wrote dx. I didn't even put it. Oh, me. And I'll put that in blue. And that will be 13x squared minus 26x plus 26 and accent or prime. And that's going to give us y prime is equal to 13x squared minus 26x plus 26. And I'm going to Verde. That's going to be e to the x plus e to the x times 26x minus 26. Factor out of e to the x. That's all I'm going to do. I don't know what they're going to do, but e to the x, and that'll leave us with 13x squared minus 26x plus 26, and then plus 26x minus 26, and of course the 26 is canceled and the 26x is canceled, and you're left with e to the x times 13x squared. And you can write that in any form, 13x squared times e to the x. I don't care. They should not either, because multiplication is commutative. So you should be able to, let's do Let's do 13 e to the x squared. See what it does. See if it has a cal. 13, and then we're going to put e to the x. Is it going to write shift up e to the x and times x squared? I'm doing it this way just to see if it marks it wrong, because that would be the least likely way to write it. Okay, it'll take all three answers. If it'll take that answer, it'll take all three. There's three different. Oh, shut up. Next. Find the derivative of the following function. 20 over x cubed. Go ahead. I would use the power rule. Should you rewrite it first? Yes. Rewrite it and use the power rule. Okay, Mr. Brock wants in. Oh, yeah, I am. I'm recording. You're not paying attention, Mr. You need to pay attention. See if anybody else is Skype being like 15 minutes late. I think that's it. Have we missed any? Okay, there he is. All right, so we've got 20 over x cubed. So I'm going to rewrite that as 20 times x to the negative 3. 20 times x to the negative 3, which is going to be equal to negative 60 x to the negative what? 4, which is equal to negative 60 over x to the 4th. I don't know how they would want it, but I would say that would be the way. Chances are they would want it. So we're going to type in 60. Always put the negative out front. I learned that a while back, but it saves us a lot of challenge question times. X to the 4th power. And we feel good about ourselves, so we don't have to wear sunglasses in the gym or carry a gallon of water around wherever we go. Have y'all seen that around campus?
I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
The milk jug of water.
They just want you to walk up to them and say, "Why do you carry?" "Oh, I'm working out." Yeah. They make these things right here called water bottles. You know? But I guess it don't look as good when you walk around with a water bottle. You got to walk around with a gallon jug, a milk jug. Dumbass. Anyway, next. Just telling y'all girls, I'm telling y'all when to run. That's another indicator when to run. Sunglasses inside. Have to carry a milk jug. Guys, if she's got an orange face and a white neck, run, run, run. All right, find the first derivative. The second derivative, find the speed, the acceleration, and the jerk. Oh my gosh, we got to use the product rule here. I'm going to let y'all work on this one. Another indicator is if the guy you're dating is or the guy that you think you're gonna date is over 25 years old and still living at home and plays video games until the wee hours of the night, run.
Yeah.
No comment? I figure I'd at least get one comment. No comment
I
at
mean,
all?
that's definitely true. That's definitely true.
Thank you!
I'm just saying that I'm personally attacked by that statement.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Aw.
Are
I
you
know
over
a guy
20
that-
years old? Are you over 20?
Haha, 19. Just got it.
Okay, well, then you're all right then.
I know a guy who does that, and I think he's like 26 or something like that.
Let me ask you a question. Does he have a steady girlfriend or a fiance or?
He doesn't have a girlfriend at all.
That would explain it.
Mhm.
I asked him why he doesn't move out of his parents' house, and he said, "Why would I? I don't need to."
Oh,
Really?
Yikes.
Okay, girls, there's your winner, Miss Gusmus. You can get his number afterwards.
hell no.
Ah.
Hell no.
That's priceless, Miss. Hell no. Okay, Miss Castles, we'll pass it on to you.
No, thank you.
Now you know why he is single. Well, you can always take the guy that looks at his car 2 or 3 times before he walks into the building. Or the guy that has to take a picture, not of him, but of his toys on Facebook. He's got to have a picture of his toys behind him. He can't take a picture of himself. Okay, f times f prime of x first times the derivative of the second. That's going to be 8 minus 9x to the negative third plus the second times the derivative of the first. Okay, now be careful here because you don't want to make something difficult. What's the derivative of 8?
0.
Okay, so just cank that out. Now, negative times negative is positive 27. X to the what?
-4.
Don't make it difficult. I'll do this one for y'all. 4x. What's 2 times 27? What's -2 plus a negative, what's 2 plus a -4?
-2.
Thank you. 4x times 8 is 32x. Minus 4 times 9 is 36. And -3 plus 1 is -2. And what's 54x to the -2 minus 36x to the -2? Dang old 18x to the -2. Somebody check me.
Yeah.
Be 18, right? Yeah. Oh, horse buggy. (18x to the -2 plus 32x. And that is f prime of x. F double prime of x should be -36 x to the -3 plus 32. And f triple prime of x should be -106, no, 108, somebody check me.
108.
Y'all check my calculus, make sure I didn't make a mistake. We'll type them in and see if I got it. So, the first one, 54, x shift up to the -2. Oops, I'm sorry. 18x to the -2. To the -2 plus 32x. And the second one, second derivative, is -36x to the -3 plus 32. And then the last one is -108 x shift up -4. Uh-oh. Somebody find out where I got something wrong. (18x to the -2 plus 32x). (-36x to the -3 plus 32). Okay, I must have something wrong up here.
Positive 108.
108 what?
Should the 108 be positive? -3.
You are correct. Thank you, sir.
Well,
You are a winner. And now we feel good about ourselves. I would use another indicator, but you might be getting tired of it. Next. Quotient rule, 2x squared over 6x plus 5. Could you use the product rule and
Yes.
the chain rule? Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll do both. Why am I doing both? For the practice. Unless you're a water walker, everybody needs practice. Denominator times numerator prime minus the numerator times the denominator prime over denominator squared. I need to get me some poster boards so I can be innovative. Or we could rewrite it and do g of x is equal to 2x squared times 6x plus 5 to the -1 power. And that's going to be first times derivative first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. Six x plus 5 times 4x minus 2x squared. And what's the derivative of, well, it's going to be 6x plus 5. You don't have to do the chain rule. You do with the -1. But since this is +1, 1 is the multiplicative identity. So it's really not going to change anything because the derivative of 6x plus 5 is 6. So you could write it out if you wanted to. 1 times the derivative of 6x plus times 1 minus 1, and then the derivative of what's inside is what? 6. Well, what's anything to the 0 power? 1. So that becomes 0 power. This to the 0 power is 1. So you're going to get 6 no matter what you do. All right, so, and that's going to be 24x squared plus 20x minus, what is, that's going to be a 12x squared? Y'all check me. Over whatever squared. And what's 24 minus 12?
12.
12x squared plus 20x over 6x plus 5 raised to the second power. Now, I could pull out a 6x, or not a 6x, but a 2x, right? 4x, thank you. A 4x, is that going to help me?
No.
No, because nothing's going to cancel out. So with the quotient rule, we got this, but let's see what happens when we do the product rule.
If you pull out a 2x, it'll cancel.
It will?
Because you can pull a 2x out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Well, I've started to say 2x, and somebody got me on 4x. Thanks, Miss Rudiker. It's your fault. 2x, and that would give me 6x plus 5. No, it won't.
No, I don't think.
That'll give you a 10. Are you sure you can pull a 2x? I don't think you can pull a 2x out.
I don't think you can.
Never
mind. 5. Yeah.
Okay, who was that told me you could pull out a 2x? You're wrong.
Sorry. That's
all right. We'll just remember that when grade time comes. So 2x squared, and then 6x. What's the derivative? Okay, we got a negative 1 here, right? So that's going to be different. So negative 1 times 6x plus 5 to the negative 2 times what? 6. Y'all check the chain rule. Plus 6x plus 5 to the negative 1 times 4x. That's going to give us 2x squared times, and I'm just going to make this negative 6 times 6x plus 5 to the negative 2. And that's 6. We're going to multiply that by 12. We're going to do that in a second. Plus 4x times 6x plus 5 to the negative 1. Now we're going to take these two downstairs. We're going to take those two downstairs, and I want y'all to go ahead and finish it out. I'm going to make this small or move it. I don't know what I'm going to do, whatever it'll let me do, because I haven't had training. All right, did it. Is that good enough for you? Of course, the 4x didn't go. That's going to give me 2x squared over, I'm sorry, what's negative? Be negative 12? Yeah. Over 6x plus 5 to the second power plus 4x over 6x plus 5 to the first power. Well, we got to have a common what? Not being rhetorical, I mean, I want y'all to interact with me.
Denominator.
Thank you. So I got to make this into a 2, so I got to multiply by another 6x plus 5 up here. And that's going to give me all over one denominator, which is 6x plus 5 squared. And then we got negative 12x squared plus 24x plus 20x. And what's negative 12 plus 24? That should be x squared. Hold on. X squared right here. Negative 12x squared, that's 12x squared plus 20x over 6x plus 5 quantity squared, and that should be the same thing we got there. And just as a precautionary, if you get to 12x squared plus 20x and 6x and you forget to factor out, I will not take full credit off. I'll take, a little bit off, if you come see me. But, this is getting 90% of the answer. This is 90% of your answer. Do you see what I'm saying? If you forget to do something after that, that's not a big deal. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, 1 yes out of 19. That's good. Thank you, one person. I appreciate it. And then they ask you to what? They don't want the derivative. They want you to plug in a 1. Somebody plug in a 1 for me. That's going to be what? 12 plus 20. What's 12 plus 20? 32. Somebody keep that in your head. 32. And then 6 plus 5 is 11. I done forgot what's on top, but 121's on the bottom. 32?
32 over 121.
Okay. Somebody see if it's simplified. I'm just going to put 121. Okay, I do good to remember, much less simplify. I know 121 is only divisible by 11. So I don't know. I think we'll just go there. We feel good about ourselves. So you see why you ought to practice both. Not only does it tell you if you got the right answer, but it also gives you that extra practice. Unless you don't need it. Okay, there's another. And you can do it both ways. So let's do it both ways. I'm going to let y'all work on it. 2x minus 8 over x minus 8. I know what some of y'all are thinking. What are you thinking? Oh, somehow that can cancel out. What did I tell you about easy stuff in calculus? It usually don't work that way. So don't erase the 2 and cancel both of them out. Mr. Swords, don't erase that 2. He's already gone.
You got me.
I got you? Okay. This one shouldn't be too difficult because you're really not taking a big derivative. So let's do the quotient rule. And I'm gonna skip a couple of steps, okay? Denominator times numerator prime minus the numerator times the denominator prime all over x minus 8 quantity squared. And then that's going to give you 2x minus 16 minus 2x plus what? 8 over x minus 8 quantity squared. And the 2x's cancel, and you're left with negative 8, y'all check me, over x minus 8 quantity squared. Now let's do it by the product rule. 2x minus 8 times x minus 8 to the negative 1. First, times the derivative of the second, plus the second, times the derivative of the first. 2x minus 8 over x minus 8 to the second power plus 2 over, and we're going to take that x minus 8 down there, and that's going to become square, and that's going to become x minus 8 here, and that's going to be 2x minus, there's supposed to be a negative somewhere. I messed up somewhere, there's supposed to be a negative. First time. Go ahead. There's supposed to be a negative.
You didn't take the derivative of the inside.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a negative. Somebody tell me where my negative went.
Someone said that you're supposed to take the derivative of the inside.
Which would be 1.
Yeah,
1.
That's different.
Negative 1, x minus 8 to the negative 2. And what's the derivative of x minus 8? 1. There's supposed to be a negative somewhere, and I think I must have. There it is. No? This is supposed to cancel, so.
That 2x minus 8 on the next line is, the sign should be swapped, I think.
Which one?
The negative, on the next line, that the negative 1 times 2x minus 8, I think.
Right here. Negative
Down.
1.
Down 1.
Down to the next.
Hold on a minute. Just let me look at it. Hold on. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, that negative 1 right here. You're talking about this one.
Yes.
That's going to be negative 2x. There we go. Thank you. And that's going to make this negative 2x plus 8. And the negative 2's cancel. And what's 8 minus 16? Negative 8. So we got the same answer. Thank you. Now, that is a prime example of what happens when you skip what? Steps. When you skip steps, you forget those little things. The reason I skipped steps on this one was because I wanted to show you both ways, and we need to hurry. So, I'm sorry I'm not showing my walking on water attributes. I'm sorry. What was the answer? Negative 8. Let's put a negative out front. And then brackets, to be a negative 8 there over, what was it? Parentheses, x minus 8, close parentheses, shift up to the second power. Does that look right? And we feel good about ourselves, so we don't have to look in the mirror every time we walk by one. Nobody adds anything. I figure y'all would have some input on this. None of y'all have run into any of these type people? I don't believe it.
Not safe to comment on it.
It's not safe to comment. Okay, well, at least that's input. All right, so here we go. Use any method to find the derivative of this function. This includes quitting. Okay? H of R is equal to, oh yeah, we can't do this one. Why? Because it's just too complicated. H of R is equal to 9 minus 8R minus square root of R over R plus 9. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite it. 8 minus 8R minus R to the 1/2 power over R plus 9. Now, you can do the quotient rule if you want to, or you can do the power rule. We'll try to do both again. So, I'll set it up. Denominator times numerator prime. So, 8 minus 8R minus R to the 1/2. I'm not going to put the accent mark. I think because I'm writing it in blue, that should be enough to tell you we got to take the derivative of it. Is that okay with y'all? Denominator times numerator prime. Y'all settle down. Minus the numerator, which is 8 minus 8R minus R to the 1/2, times the numerator prime. I think I done turned it around, didn't I? Numerator times the denominator prime. Okay, there we go. Denominator is R plus 9. All over the denominator squared. R plus 9. Okay, so now we take the denominator, I'm just going to go ahead and take the, right above it, if y'all don't mind, 0 minus 8 minus 1/2 R to the negative 1/2. Is that what y'all got? We can rewrite it in a second. I just 1/2 R to the negative 1/2. Okay. 0, negative 8, and then over here, what's the derivative of R? 1. So now I'm going to rewrite the top. And of course, we don't need this. And we could write this, but I'm not going to rewrite it yet. I'm just going to rewrite. I'm not going to do anything. So R plus 9 times negative 8 minus 1/2 R to the negative 1/2 power. I'm not worried about this. Why? Because it's 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and distribute this. So that's going to be minus 8 plus 8R minus R to the 1/2 power. That'll be a plus. All over. Do we really care about the denominator at this point? No. So it looks like to me we might have to use the FOIL method. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to make this smaller. And I've never seen this problem before. I'm just going with what I think is what they're wanting. I think they're wanting you to do the FOIL method. And that is R times negative 8 is negative what? Negative 8R. That's first. Outside, you got R to the 2/2 right here. So 1 right here. So outside, 1 times negative 1/2 is negative 1/2. And what is R to the 2 halves times r to the negative 1 half. R to the 1 half. Inside, 9 times 8 is 72. Last is 9 halves, be a negative 9 halves r to the negative half. Negative 9 halves r to the negative half. And then, is that plus 8? Be a minus 8 plus 8r plus r to the 1 half. And I may be totally off base, but I don't know if they want you to go this far or not. Whew. Okay, good news. The 8r's do what? They cancel, Hubert. Thank you, class. And I don't see that 72. Looks like it's going to come down. Looks like we got a bunch of r's to the 1 halves. We got 2r to the 1 halves. So we can add those. And r, that's the same base. So it looks like we can, I'm going to rewrite this. And I'm just going to put the negative 72 down here. I don't know why I chose, I guess I chose red. So that takes care of that. And that negative 8, well, that negative 8 and it's negative 72 is negative 80. I didn't see that till just now, sorry. Is everybody with me? Because y'all not talking, and when y'all don't talk, I don't know. Negative 80. Appreciate y'all's interaction.
We're
One
trying
cough,
to keep
I'm
up.
clearing the throat. Negative 1 half r to the 1 half minus 9 halves r to the negative 1 half plus r to the 1 half. All over r plus 9 to the second power. Whew. Well, the negative 1 half is going to be by itself. And the negative, this is 2 halves right here. So negative 1 half plus 2 halves is 1 half. So that's 1 half r to the 1 half power minus 9 halves r to the negative 1 half power minus 80 over r plus 9 to the second power. Really hard for me to believe that they wanted this to come out this way. I don't think it's going to get much better if you do the product rule. I'm trying to think of the way they want the answer. That's what I'm trying to, because I don't think you can do anything more. I'm trying to see if you can actually, you can factor out a 1 half. Yeah, you could factor out a 1 half. Divide 1 half, divide 9 halves by 1 half. That's probably the best thing to do. Factor out 1 half. And that's going to leave you with r to the 1 half power minus, well, what's 9 halves divided by 1 half? You multiply by 2, so that's 9r to the negative 1 half. And then what do you do when that's negative 160? All over r plus 9 to the second power. Whew. Let's do it by the product rule and see what we get. No, I don't want to do that. Let's do it. I'm trying to see what's the best. That's why I'm doing the product rule. I'm going to see if we get a better. I don't think we are. That's going to be 9 minus 8r minus square root of r times r plus 9 to the negative 1. First, times the derivative of the second. One plus the second times the derivative of the first. 0 minus 8, and then minus 1/2. The minus 1/2 r to the negative 1/2. Minus 1/2 r to the negative 1/2. That's going to give you 9 minus 8r minus r to the 1/2. And I'm just going to rewrite this as negative 1 times r plus 9 to the negative 2. Of course, that's going to come down. Plus r plus 9 to the negative 1 times, really nothing here, negative 8 minus 1/2 r to the negative 1/2. I'm going to bring this down, and that's going to be r plus 9 to the second power. And that negative, if you distribute that negative throughout here, you're going to get what? Negative 9 plus 8r minus r to the 1/2, or plus, right? Plus. So that's done. And over here, we're going to have negative 8 minus 1/2 r to the negative 1/2 all over r plus 9 to the first power. So if we want to make that to the second power, then that means we got to multiply the top by r plus 9. We still got to do the FOIL method. So it's going to leave a cluster no matter what. And that's going to give us negative 9 plus 8r plus r to the 1/2. And then that's going to give us negative 8r first outside. There's that negative 72 again. Negative 72 inside. Well, that's going to be 2/2. So that's going to be 1/2 r to the 1/2, negative 1/2 r to the 1/2, and then 9/2, negative 9/2 r to the negative 1/2. Do y'all see that in the other side over there? R plus 9 quantity squared. We got the negative 72. There's the negative 72. I don't see the 8. There's the negative 9/2 r to the 1/2. There's the 1/2 r to the 1/2. Y'all see if I got an 8 somewhere. There should be an 8 somewhere because I got an 8 right here, unless this is wrong. That 8 right there could be wrong. I could have wrote it twice. Denominator times numerator prime. I appreciate y'all's interaction. Thank you. The negative 8r is canceled. Did we do that over here?
You wrote
Yep.
8 twice.
There's the negative. Did you find the 8?
You did it at the beginning. Like you erased it already.
Okay. Well, you get the point. You can do it either way. You start to see where the answer is starting to be the same as this one over here. Because I've got all r to the 1/2. Y'all see all the r's to the 1/2? Oh, there's my 8. No? I lost an 8 somewhere. I'm going to type in the answer we got. We need to remember, somebody write down this one. Are y'all convulsing? Is it time to go yet? Yes or no? Ms. Rudiger, what time's class over?
4:25.
4:25, okay, because some of y'all are having convulsions, so that means it must be time to go. I'm going to type in an answer. I'm just going to type in 3. I don't know if it ain't going to give me the right answer, so we might have to do this one. This will be a good one for y'all to do for homework. See what you can get. We need to simplify this a little bit more. I think that's the simplified answer right there, but I could be wrong. We'll look at it tomorrow. Somebody make sure we do that one tomorrow. Okay. All right. I'm gonna cut it off and call the roll before